Have you ever had like super mushy shrimp? Like it has absolutely no texture, yet this weird texture that's somewhere between like dehydrated latex and puke. Well, shrimp quality matters, and we're here to talk about that today because we're going to talk about the biggest differences in store-bought shrimp because there are two different methods out there to the madness. Now, we are not going to be discussing shrimp that are bought fresh off the coast. I think Gulf Coast shrimp is amazing. Obviously, I live here on the Gulf Coast, right? I'm a Gulf Coast state, so I love Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama shrimp. So I'm going to 100% say that that is the top tier. If you get it, get it. The problem is 80% of the country doesn't have access to that. So I recognize that. So today I want to help you though when you're sourcing shrimp inside the store. I want you to be able to select a quality shrimp that is going to give you the right texture you're looking for, the right snap, the color, everything to maximize and give the wow factor to your food. So with that said, we're going to be looking at shrimp today. Let's go. Now, in the United States, we're talking about packaged shrimp. 80% of everything, I believe it's even more than that recently, but as of 2023, I believe it was at over 84% of all shrimp purchased in the United States was white shrimp. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at. So yes, there's reds, there's Gulf browns, there's all kinds of different shrimp that are out there. We're going to be super specific at what we're looking at today and just saying white shrimp. Now, let's look at country of origins on these two. So, country of origin on this one is India. Let's see what we get on this one. Country of origin. It ain't Cincinnati, Ohio. That's the problem with these products. They really do hide that. Product of Indonesia. Kind of similar parts of the world. So, what we're talking about today is kind of a topic that's not talked about really in the food industry, and that's discussing tripolyphosphate shrimp. Now, what is tripolyphosphate? So tripolyphosphate is found in shrimp, and what it is an MRA, a moisture retention agent. And so what it's there to do is it's there to soak up a little bit of water because shrimp are naturally kind of dry. If you've had a shrimp directly off the coast and it's got a weird texture, that's why. Shrimp are naturally kind of dry, kind of like lobster. Lobster is very similar in the same way. So what they do is they add a moisture retention agent, tripolyphosphate. And what that does is it turns the shrimp into kind of like a sponge. It's going to soak up water. And so again, that's going to help it stay juicier. It's going to help it retain color. It's going to do and help it look, at least, and the thing is going to make it look super plump and juicy for you when you're there in the shopping center looking at it. The problem is that also sets a couple of different precedents when you are cooking with this product. So we're going to be taking a look at that right now. But I did want to take a look at the shrimps as a whole. So we're going to do an above view as I assess these two shrimp brands. One is called Pureport. This is a nationally distributed to the restaurants. This is what a lot of restaurants across the country are using. It's a great shrimp. I have used this in my past. This is tripolyphosphate free. And we're going to talk about what that means in a minute because it does have an MRA. It's just a different MRA. So we're going to put this right here. Next one, this is Sandbar. I believe this comes from Kroger or Walmart, big box store, it doesn't matter. This is our tripolyphosphate shrimp. And we're going to be taking a look at that and what that means between the two. So I'm going to open these up. I'm going to weigh them. We're going to get really detailed. This is what chefs do in kitchens. We really look at our product. I'm going to treat you as if you're one of my line cooks and I'm training you today on shrimp quality and what's important. Moving to the up above views. I really hope you're into this because I get really geeky about my food products. So again, if you like this, you're on the right channel. Also, I feel like I need to give you a slight disclaimer here because I get really excited about this product. I worked for a company that distributed that product. I'm no longer with that company anymore. I was a corporate executive chef for a food distributor that distributed that. I'm no longer affiliated with them. So I still love this product. I've used this product. They got two brands that they have. It's called Pureport, and the other one is called Bay Winds. Both of them absolutely, in my opinion, impeccable product. But we're gonna take a great look at that here today. I do, however, feel like I need to put like a slight disclaimer in here. I'm not a food scientist. I'm not Alton Brown. I'm not any of that. So if you're probably gonna find some, maybe I say misspeak something, I'm going to talk about what I know and what I've been told. If you've got a disagreement, something you want to add into the comment, make sure you leave it down below. I'm all about learning something new. I'm not an ignorant chef. I love to learn from other people. My favorite thing in producing videos is when people leave comments down below. I love it when people disagree with me or have something to say. I'm going to learn something new. So again, this is a learning process. So let's learn together. Let's go. So with me, I have, of course, a little digital pen and paper right here. We've got our 2 bags of shrimp and a scale, super important. So let's put these in order how they are on my pad. So first things first, I'm going to weigh these bags out. It says they're 32 ounces. I never believe that. That's never a thing. Always weigh them out, give them a slight weigh. We'll say 2 pounds, 9 ounces. This is going to be important here in a minute because we're going to take the water off of this. So this is 2 pounds, 7 ounces. So let's convert that into just ounces. That's 41 ounces total, be 39 ounces. So no worries there at all. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna strain these off so we can get all this excess liquid off of it. I don't know if you can see on this, but there is quite a bit of water down there in the bottom. So I'm interested as to which one has the most water inside of them. A lot of times with tripolyphosphate, that's what's gonna happen, because remember, you're using that to soak in extra water. So tripoly is kind of known for having a lot of water, and the customer in particular paying for that excess of water. Give it a little jiggle and shake. Still got a little ice glaze on it, but that's fine. So we're gonna say true weight, 2 pounds, 1.5 ounces. So we'll say 33.5 ounces. So we're actually good on that. We're actually above where it says. So we're actually above the 32 ounces, so that's great. I am gonna note something on these. These have been thawing out for the same amount of time. These have giant ice crystals on them, as you can see right here. So I am gonna kind of move these around just a little bit. I didn't have to do that with these because there's really not any giant ice crystals here. You pretty much you only lost 5 ounces in water on that one. But see, this has got giant chunks of ice in it. So I am, not to take away from this one, but I am gonna take a moment to kind of kick some of that icing off of it because it is excessive. So I think that is gonna make a difference. Now both of these shrimp are 31-35 shrimp. I made sure that they were the exact same size. Now I am noticing some quality differences between the two. See, look at all that ice on that. That is ridiculous. That's what you're paying for, unfortunately, when you're buying these things. And that's part of the, the process for them. That's not something that's odd. That's kind of how they do these things. They glaze them with water. Again, it probably helps keep it from drying out while it's in the freezer. Freezers are typically very dry places. So that actually hit pretty much 2 pounds on the dot. So good for them. That does not always happen. Look at all that though. That's a pretty wild amount of icing that's on those shrimp. Now, so pour this back in here. We're gonna start to kind of look at the differences between the two. So this hit 2 pounds on the dot. I mean, it was, so you're seeing now that it's kind of starting to even out a little bit. And there was still excessive amount of ice on what I did for those. Now let's take a good look at the two. Notice the shrimp. Again, these are the tripolys. These are the traditional ones. Notice the color difference between the two. I don't know if the camera is really going to do it justice. These are our non-tripolys. These are our polys. And these are just a little bit more opaque. It's got a little bit more color to it, a little bit more vibrance. Now, I want to take a look at things that I think are kind of undersized and kind of taking a look at them, seeing how they're matching up. You know, sometimes you get some bigs and some smalls in there. These generally look all about the same. So we'll ride it out. We'll ride it out. So the biggest thing, though, when we're talking about tripolyphosphates is, again, how are they going to cook off? How do I know I've got a tripolyphosphate? Without even having the bag, how am I going to know? First things first is, as we're cooking these off, they're gonna have a very milky look to the bottom of the saute pan, and that is the tripolyphosphate leaching out. These are going to stay true to their color. It's gonna be a little bit more clear. This is also gonna have a much more vibrant pink. They're also going to be able to caramelize better because they don't have that MRAs in here. So for like grilled shrimp, or maybe New Orleans or blackened shrimp, anything like that, you're going to want to have non-tripolyphosphate because you're really wanting to add color onto it. So let's cook them and let's put them side by side. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different. Before I do that, I'm going to pick 6 shrimp at random on top. So let's do this pure port shrimp first. We're going to pick 6 shrimp right off the top, roughly 2.2 ounces for those shrimp. See, already starting to caramelize here on the edges. Notice how consistent they are in that shape. 6 shrimp. Let's weigh them again. So 1.95 ounces after being cooked. Let's do our tripolys. So 2.51. So that means we need to do a count test next. So we got 2 very different sizes. Now I already see out the gate, so the milkiness coming off of them. As soon as they hit the pan, you kind of start to see it bubbling out. See if I can bring it in the camera just a little bit closer so maybe you can see it. But all that we didn't really have with the other one. Not really seeing much color, so kind of see-through-y, not really cooked per se. Again, notice all the white that's come off of these. And again, that's going into your sauce. That's downgrading your sauce. I'll cook them till I get color, just like the other one. I feel like that would be fair. And look at all the stuff on the pan. All right, so after some simple math, that means for our tripoly, that means we were 0.38 ounces of reduction. That puts us at a 15%. And then we had a 0.25% with a non-tripoly. Now, non-tripoly still has an MRA inside of it. It uses bicarbonate, literally baking soda. And so it's still retaining moisture, but it's doing it at a higher level between the two. I want to do a quick count because I think the counts are off. They seem kind of sus. So let's do a visual count on these, and let's just make sure that we are a true 3135. So very interesting. So for our tripolyphosphate, we have 71 pieces. We have 82 pieces in our non-tripolyphosphate. Now these two were, that was the exact same price. So it was, I think it was $7.95 a pound for these two. Both of these were $7.95 a pound. So let's kind of break that down by the piece, I guess. All that mathin' to realize that we are spending just short of 2 cents more for our tripolyphosphate than we are our non-tripoly. So again, this is where it kind of comes into play. So we're gonna get a better price per piece on these tripolyphosphates. Now let's bring these two in. And I have not seasoned them. I have not done anything to them. These, I had to cook them a little bit harder just to get them to actually caramelize. But look at the real pinkiness of that. That's not really how shrimp are in real life. It feels very fake, if you will. Now let's take a look at the bite. So let's do non-tripoly first. So first flavor profile that I taste is almost like butter. It has a very, reminds me a little bit of lobster tail even. Really good flavor, great texture. There's a great snap that happens there. I can eat that all day. Let's take a look at this. And I'm not dissing on this. So please don't feel like I'm taking a dump on somebody's product. I'm just giving an honest assessment between the two. So first taste on these, it's a little odd. First thing I taste is a little bit of salt. And then there's this kind of weird back taste. I'm trying to figure out what that, compare it to. It's kind of got a little bit, I hate to say the word chemical, but it has like, it's not entirely off-putting. But then we talk about snap. See how it's kind of ripping. Doesn't have the same snap and texture for sure. We're talking about mouthfeel. And it's very important, especially like for us as chefs, that we have the right mouthfeel, right? Because everything is about providing this luxurious experience, especially when you're having shrimp. And so we want it to be the right quality, consistency. I mean, look at the 3 pieces. They're perfectly all 3 the same size. And this one's done really well. Maybe that one's a little bit small if we're really going to nitpick, but they're generally about the same. Try one more for each side. I'll do this one first since I did that one first last time. So does it matter? Does it matter? I want you to tell me in the comment section down below what you think of this discussion. Again, I'm just looking at 2 different products. I have some more product that I want to kind of take a look at here in the next couple weeks. Maybe I can compare it to a different shrimp. Do the exact same cutting. I like to take an in-depth look at products like these. I think it gives me a better understanding of the product from head to toe, literally, in this case. If you like this, please let me know down below. Maybe more products. I have had companies reach out to me to look at products. I'm always super on edge when it comes to reviewing people's like physical like cooking products like pots, pans, and things like that, because I always want to be authentic. I do have people who are contacting me, and I will do an absolute best to make sure that I am 100% honest if I get paid to review a product and things like that. I'm really into techie stuff. Like, you know, my son and I were building a desktop together. And so my pet peeve on YouTube is these people who don't make it known that they're getting paid by a company to look at that product. I am not getting paid by either one of these 2 companies at all, for clarification. I have no affiliation with this company anymore. I do still genuinely like that product. The only shrimp, as far as frozen white shrimp, that I like, and it edges it by just a little bit, it's just a little bit, it is very close, is Bay Winds. And we'll take closer look at Bay Winds on another day. I felt like these 2 were actually going to be super competitive, and they were. They actually, for a tripolyphosphate shrimp, it super exceeded my thoughts and what was going to happen. Typically, in my experience, the bicarbonate shrimp blows the tripolyphosphate out of the water. I think the fact that it was close it's a good representation for that brand. That brand should be very happy. I'm not dissing on it at all. I'm just pointing out the differences between the 2. And I'm sure someone who maybe is a fan of tripolyphosphate can tell me what they don't like about bicarbonate. But this, my friends, is the end of this episode. It is a pleasure as always. If you have not had, before you click on that next video, I saw you. You're about to click on the next episode. Don't do that just yet. But make sure you stick around, because in this video right here, we're making this beautiful, delicious bowl of crawfish etouffee. You don't want to miss out on this. I think one of my next videos might be a comparison on Louisiana crawfish versus maybe Chinese. I think that'd be a great discussion after researching and cooking this crawfish etouffee today. Or etouffee, if I'm going to say it properly to my boys down south. Make sure you stick around for this other video. Maybe you're not like Jonathan. I'm really not into seafood right now, but I want to smoke some meats. Don't worry, I got you. Click on this video over here. We've got amazing smoked, delicious meats to go with that. And as always, like, subscribe. We'll see you next time. My name is Jonathan. This is Deep South Foodies. Thank you for being geeky with me for a couple of minutes. You have a great day.